Lesbian Nazi hookers abducted by UFOs and forced into weight loss programs. All this week on The Cooper and Anthony Show.
All right. Log in. All right. It asked me to log. Oh, no, it's going to give me a fucking token. Oh, my God. Now I got to get my fucking phone out because it's going to give me a token.
All right, don't bother then. It's okay.
Hold on. Now I'm already into it. I'm into it now. Remember this computer. See, now it sent me 2 Twitch Hoochiebergs. So which one do I go with?
I would go with the most recent one they sent you.
All right. 01. Hold on. 8. Damn it. 1216. No, Facebook couldn't do this when somebody stole my Facebook account. No, they couldn't do this at Facebook.
Mm-hmm. Right.
But they can do it on Twitch. Hold up, your password is prone to enemies. I don't care.
You do have a lot of enemies. That's true. Can you imagine like somebody from our past, like many, many years ago that we don't even talk to anymore is like, ha, finally, his password. Ha.
Yeah, I'm telling you, if you figure out that password, you know all my passwords. And if you do figure it out, let me know. Because half the time I forget. I hate that. I go to a website and I don't know.
Well, that's so funny because I got a message from a friend of mine today on Twitter. Now, I've been on Twitter since 2009. Okay. And there's a group of us that have been on since the early days of Twitter. And we kind of formed a bond and, we all follow each other and tweet each other and whatever. I've been friends since 2009 on Twitter. Not real friends, but Twitter friends. So this one dude messaged me and said, I have a new account. Can you follow me there? I can't access my old account. And I was like, oh man, what did you do? How'd you get into Twitter jail? He's like, no, I'm not in Twitter jail. I just don't remember the password I used in 2009.
Yeah, I got a new phone and I can't figure it out.
Right. Well, he had accidentally logged out and he couldn't log back in and Twitter couldn't help him. So he just started a new account like from scratch. He had like 36,000 followers and he's literally starting from scratch. But the account is still up there. He just can't access it, which is hilarious. So I wrote back. I was like, tell me you're over 40 without telling me you're over 40.
Well, I mean, with Facebook, I had a Facebook account for, 5,000 years. And somebody went in and stole it. And so even the other day, I went on to see if I could get on an account. And it says, well, we'll send a password to this email. I don't know what that email is because it's the person that you let steal my password. So they said, take a photo of your ID and then maybe we can help you. So I took a photo of my ID.
Right.
And then I hit send and they sent back and they said, well, this isn't you. And I'm like, then why did you even ask me for my ID? Why don't you get the guy that stole my shit, ask him to send the ID and see if the last name is the same.
Right.
If
You'll
not,
see that's not me either.
Account.
Yeah,
give me my fucking account back because it's got 4 photos on there that I don't have anywhere else except for that account. I don't care about anything else. Just give me the photos back. Let Hashid or whoever the fuck took my account, let him have everything else. Just give me the 3 photos that I don't have anywhere else except on Facebook.
Right. So what happened? That's where you've left it?
That's where I left it because they're like, well, now you have to go through this hoop. I'm like, I don't have time for this. I barely had enough time to take a photo of my ID. I don't even know why I'm going through all this.
But I don't understand their authentication process. I mean, you prove that you were you. They can't say you're not you. That's the whole point, that your identity was stolen on their platform. And they're still not doing anything about it? I don't get it.
The only thing different is it's Anthony on my ID and it's Tony on my Facebook. So I guess they don't think that's the same guy.
Oh, it's like someone named Charlie who goes by Chuck. It's like, are you a fucking moron? It's not like my name is Charlie and I'm sending you something that says my name is
same last name.
Tim. Right.
So, but they said, no, we're sorry. Fuck off. This ain't you. I'm like, now what? And then I deleted it and I went, I'll deal with this later. I can't. I don't have the bandwidth in my head to deal with. I just want the 3 photos back that Hashid has that I want back. That's all I want.
Here's how you and I are different. I would escalate this. I'd be like, I want to speak to your manager. I would Karen the fuck out of this.
They don't have a manager.
Of course they do. I want to speak to your supervisor. I want to go up the chain. Give me the next person who can help me because I want my account back.
But you can't find a phone number to call Facebook. You're just dealing with this freaking bot. That's all I'm dealing with is a bot.
Right.
That sees this. Is the bot looking at my ID, or is there a person actually looking at my ID? Why did you ask for my ID? Why don't you ask the guy that stole my account for his ID?
Why don't you say that?
Because they won't. They said, screw you, you're not the right person. You're a hacker. I'm like, whatever. Just see, now you're getting me all upset all again, and I forgot about it because it's been like 3 days since I went through all this. Now I'm going to have to go through this again. It's just it's a matter of principle now.
Right. No, that's what I'm saying. I would not let this go. I would just keep after them, be like, this is me. This is my account. Somebody stole it. I don't know whose ID you think you have, but this is me. And I don't know how else to prove it to you other than to have you look at my picture and then look at the account and see all the pictures on it. And you'll see that those match.
Oh, yeah. Look at the photo on my ID and look at the photo in my... because I guarantee that guy doesn't have that.
Exactly. Go in there, look at the photo on my ID, look at the photo on my page. You'll see those are the same photos. In fact, I'm going to do you one better. I'm going to send you some photos from my phone that I know are on my Facebook page. You know what I mean? Like I would absolutely, I wouldn't let this go. I'm relentless. I could give a fuck about Facebook. And this happened to me. I'd be like, oh, finally, I'm off Facebook. Like, thank God I'm free. I'm free from the tyranny. But this is the kind of thing I can't let it go. I'm like a dog with a bone when it comes to this kind of stuff. I hate injustice.
Yeah. David Seeley said he had the same thing happen to him. So I don't know how they do it. They hack your password and they go in there and they change the email address, which is fine because the email address I had for that Facebook account, I don't even have that email address anymore.
Right.
Because it's one of those websites I bought back in the day. I can't even remember what I did with it. So I don't have that email address. So that's fine. But they changed it and I don't have access to his email address.
But I would send a message saying, you're obviously not doing anything to protect my privacy and my identity. This is my account. I was hacked. They went in and changed the password and you're doing nothing about this. I would really lean on them because a hacker wouldn't do that. A hacker wouldn't be like, you're not protecting me. But
no,
if you
it's not
said
a hacker, it's Facebook. But they sit in Congress and say, we're protecting our people that are on Facebook, but when they're not.
That's what I'm saying. That's why I would say to them, listen, a hacker hacked into my account and you're protecting the hacker, not protecting me. Like, what the fuck, dude?
Right.
What happened to David Seeley? I want the story. Ask him what happened.
He said, nobody's there to help at Facebook. I got hacked after years too. Had the same experience as, quote, Tony. So,
quote, Tony.
See, and the thing is the people that follow the Tony account, which there's a bunch, they think I just died. Or I'm sending them ads for buying Ray-Bans or something. I don't know. I don't know what they're getting from me right now, but they think I just died.
Can you go right on that page?
No, it's not. It didn't even come up anymore.
Oh. Wow.
Yeah, so they're not using it. So if they're not using it, let me use it.
Right.
But then they're going to find out I have 2 Facebook accounts, and they're going to see, why do you have 2 Facebook accounts under 2 different names? I just...
One for my wife, one for my girlfriends. Duh.
Speaking of people regularly regarded as second-class citizens,
it's the Cooper and Anthony Show. Broadcast school has really paid off.
BuzzFeed finally came over to the dark side. Now, while they still write puff pieces on Gwyneth Paltrow's life and her trials and tribulations, I really do. But listen, they just posted an article about why it's okay to hate her. And they really
you wrote
tore
a whole
her
book on why it's okay to hate her.
Right, it's true.
Your latest book is trashing her.
That's a good point. That's right. Celebritocracy should be called Why I Hate Gwyneth Paltrow.
Yeah.
But what's interesting is that BuzzFeed has finally came around to it. That's interesting because, they love to kiss celebrity ass. So they put her in the same category as Kevin Spacey.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. The article is about celebrities we used to like, but now we don't have a shred of respect for them, which is perfect.
Wow. How did she get that? How did she go from being in the rom-coms and being loved by America to be on this list?
I'll let BuzzFeed tell you. Here's what they wrote. Gwyneth Paltrow's bullshit pseudo health information she spreads is terribly incorrect and cringeworthy. It's sad how many people are actually influenced by it.
Mm.
That's what they said in there.
Yeah, she's
because they were going down lots of different. They're talking about lots of different celebrities, so that's how they took her down.
Yeah, she's coming out now to say she starts her day with alkaline water.
Oh, shut the fuck up! I don't want to hear more about her.
And then adds lemon to it. That's her morning thing. So when you add lemon to alkaline water, it turns it into water. It takes the alkaline out of it. So people are calling BS on that.
Right. I mean, her whole life is BS. And what I love about that chapter in my book is that mine is full research. Everything that she claims, I interviewed like a doctor or a researcher or a scientist that was like, no, that's wrong. And here's why. She claimed what? No, she should be like wiped off the planet. That is dangerous information. Here's why. So I'm glad that BuzzFeed finally caught up to it, but they didn't just come after Gwyneth Paltrow. They also said that it is now okay to hate J.K. Rowling because, all right, so a lot of LGBTQ plus readers were able to find solace and acceptance, they say, in all the Harry Potter books, which is true because Harry Potter is about accepting everybody for who they are. But then J.K. Rowling came out with all of her anti-trans comments, and her fans said that was a slap in the face because the books had always been, kind of iffy though, but handling of sensitive issues. But she's been dismissive and infantilizing about trans people, and it's so blatant, it's sickening. So she is also on their list of people that you're allowed to hate now.
And she has enough money to buy a small country, so she really probably doesn't care if you hate her.
I don't know about that. I mean, I don't think money makes a difference. I think if you're super, super wealthy, you can go cry in your home, but you still are aware of the fact that people no longer like you. Like I think doesn't matter how big your house is.
Well, see, we have the now people don't like us and we have no money. So we don't know what it's like to have people not like us and have a lot of money.
It's true. Yeah, good point. You know what? I guess people never like us. People never like you. People never like other people. Better to have lots of money and be not liked.
Exactly. That's way you can go to the Johnny whatever island, the fuck you island, and just live there and go, I don't care.
Like, wow, I'm upset you don't like me. I'm going to go. Right, exactly. I'm going to go have my housekeeper clean my house and my chef make me a meal.
Wipe my ass with $100 bill. Sorry, you don't like me.
Now, this is interesting. On the list also, I didn't realize Kelly Clarkson was somebody that people were stepping away from. This is interesting. They said that people stopped admiring Kelly Clarkson after they learned that she spanks her kids. Now, look, that's her business. Those are her kids. I get that people are offended by that. I get people don't like that. There's a whole thing in this country about corporal punishment and how people parent their children. That is not in the same category as Gwyneth Paltrow giving bad medical information just to make money. Like she's a snake oil salesman, or Kevin Spacey, who is a sexual predator. Like I don't think Kelly Clarkson should be on this list for that. I mean, it's bad, but it's not, we have to hate her now. I mean, her TV show's doing well, right?
No, it's doing all right. But okay. So it's bad for people to spank their own kids. That's how that's how you raise your kids. If you don't like it, then sorry. Have your own kids and you don't spank them.
Right. Well, she defended it. She made it sound wholesome. People got really turned off by that. And every time they hear her sing, they say it's the voice that strikes fear into her toddler-age children.
They can't look past that one thing because they have keyboards.
Yeah. Chrissy Teigen, of course, as you know, made this list because of, people were saying like, she was already on Twitter and people were like, she's a little divisive on Twitter. But as soon as it came out that she was bullying and misogynistic towards Courtney Stodden. And then other people too, but the bullying, and she apologized for it, but still people were like, you know what? I'm put off for life.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they don't like her.
Yeah, I don't like her because you bring her up all the time. That's the only reason why I don't like her. What? Who? Okay, then let's go.
Blah, 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 blah.
There you go.
Camila Cabello. I forgot about that. I knew that she had some problems, and we talked about her the other night, and I said that she was problematic. We were talking about like popular celebrities, and I remembered something had happened with Camila Cabello, but I couldn't remember it. And then this BuzzFeed article brought it up. Right. So, okay. People do not like her or they hate her, one or the other. Like either they're just neutral or they really hate her because her full-on stands were blatantly racist towards Normani. And they edited her face onto the body of a man who was lynched. I forgot about that. That was huge. All because Normani called Camila quirky in an interview. Mm. And they tore the poor woman apart. And Camila didn't even acknowledge it. She wasn't even like, you guys, that's fucked up or that's racist or it's not okay. She didn't really say much, which is really crappy because they were best friends at one point. Mm-hmm. You know, so that was really icky.
But
so people don't
she's really hot though.
Right. Well, her being hot still didn't have an impact on Cinderella. Nobody watched it. You know,
because it wasn't a good movie. It wasn't because she sucked as an actress. It just sucked as a movie.
Right. Then they have a whole list of like celebrities we now hate because of sex crimes, and many of those people who are found guilty of sexual misconduct or accusations of rape or whatever. Armie Hammer, Kanye, Dr. Phil, Drake Bell, Kevin Spacey, like I said earlier, they're all on this list. But this is interesting. Finally on this list, James Corden. I know people don't like him. I know there was a whole thing to make sure he doesn't make his way into the new Wicked movie. They didn't want him to ruin Wicked. Mm-hmm. Here's what they say. I used to think James Corden's self-deprecating style, his ingenuity with comedy, and the carpool karaoke idea was great. Then I saw story after story of fan encounters where he's a complete and utter douche, and he's a fake. His shtick is unwatchable. And then he got on Jimmy Kimmel and he played the question game, and he could not name two of his own camera people. I mean, that's
I'm surprised they even have camera people anymore. They have every studio I've been to now they have one guy that moves them with a joystick. So I wonder if they actually have camera people.
No, there's camera people.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I sat in the audience for some of these shows. I've got friends that, you know, either were in town and wanted to see a show, or a friend of mine worked at Seth Meyers. She's like, come see Seth Meyers. Mm-hmm. No, full on camera people everywhere.
Okay. Speaking of talk show people, Wendy Williams, as you know, has people filling in for her as she's out with whatever she has. So today she had somebody filling in for her, and don't know how I feel about it.
Okay.
And now, here's our special guest host, Michael Rapaport.
That's an interesting choice, Michael Rapaport, as a guest host.
On Wendy Williams?
It's a weird
Rapaport
choice.
Is dancing? Okay, now look at this girl. This girl bothers the shit out of me. Look at her mask.
Oh, because her mask is down on her chin.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now,
okay.
When they do another shot here coming up, and you see her, and you go, everybody, look at that.
Oh, the mask is around her chin. She's barely wearing her mask.
No,
yeah, that's not. That's not okay.
Barely wearing a mask. There's no mask there. It's on her chin.
It's a chin strap.
It's not even covering. I mean, there's some complete fucking morons who wear it under their nose. No, this moron doesn't even have it over her mouth.
Right. In a room full of strangers indoors on a TV set where she knows nobody can say anything to her.
No, where you have to wear a mask to be in the audience. So she's like, well, I'm wearing a mask. No, you're not. It drives me insane.
Well, she's technically wearing it. It's technically on her. It's just not on her properly. I'm just saying.
I walk around all day long and I see idiots like this. In the middle of the pandemic, I saw idiots like this, and they say the same thing. I'm wearing my mask.
Yeah, I was joking. The problem is, no, the show can get in trouble for this because this is a SAG-AFTRA problem. Yeah, no, in fact, when you're on a set, it's somebody's job. There's a compliance manager, and it's their job to walk over. And I'm telling you, I was watching, you know, every once in a while, I'll do like my stupid background work stuff. The makeup artist was going up and down doing everyone's makeup and putting lipstick on this one actress, and the compliance person said, "Mask up." And they just were like, ignored him. He came over, he's like, "I'm not going to ask you again. I said, mask up or you're both going to be taken off the set." And the woman turns around. She's like, "I'm a makeup artist. I'm putting makeup on this actor who's about to be on camera. Like, whoever you need to call and yell at and kick us off set, please go get them."
No.
But it became like this fight.
Please let me host this show, because I would have stopped it right there and went, I want to grab her, bring her down, sit her in I want to interview this girl.
No, see, that's the wrong attitude, because what you're doing then is you're encouraging people to show up and take their masks off, because then they get on camera.
No, I want to find out what her IQ is. And Michael Rapaport wearing a sweater.
No, that's his look. He's like a dad now. You didn't see Atypical. That's the show that he was on. It's been canceled, but that's the show that he was on Netflix. So he plays the dad on that. It's him and Jennifer Jason Leigh. She's the mom, you know, so he's full on embracing the dad thing.
Hello, everyone, and thank you so much. This is exciting. I got a question. All right. Okay. I got a question for you guys. Very important question. How you doing?
Okay, what are they feeding this audience that gets them to scream nonstop at everything?
There is an audience wrangler, and I will tell you this because I used to work on the Tyra show, and it's somebody's job. So there's two people who work with the audience. One is the warm-up comic, and the warm-up comic comes out and like makes jokes and gets you laughing, gets your energy up. They make you sing. They do contests. They throw out T-shirts. They get you like woohoo, all excited. And then it's somebody else's job to come up and they hold like an applause sign, or they hold like a scream sign, and they tell you what to do. You've basically been trained by the comic and the audience wrangler as to what you're supposed to do. So the audience is well aware.
No, they're pumping gas into the studio. I mean, listen to these people.
My name is Michael Rapaport. I am guest hosting the Wendy Williams show this week. Let's get
There's like 14 people in the crowd. They don't make this much noise.
Because there's so many hot topics.
It's so weird that he's doing hot topics. Yeah, it's a weird choice.
There's her mask again. Look at her. Okay, then you look at the girl to her right who's wearing like the mask you wear if you're painting a car.
Right.
So I'm thinking she didn't show up to the studio with a mask and they just went, give her the one that you paint a car with.
Right.
Okay, Michael.
You're not the only one, but they keep showing her on camera, so obviously they're trying to shame her.
I sure hope so. Well, no, I think they keep showing her on TV because A, she's hot, and B, there's only 14 people in the crowd.
It's true. Not a very big crowd.
So Michael is sitting there in his sweater with flowers to his right.
Well, there's always flowers on that table. He's there in like it's not a sweater, it's a cardigan. It's a real dad sweater. It's a real grandpa sweater.
Much fun yesterday. Yesterday was so much fun. Wendy, we cannot wait for you to come
Applaud.
back. I'm so excited. Dorinda Medley of The Real Housewives of New York City is here. One of my favorite housewives.
They scream like that there's so much
everything.
About this that drives me crazy. I can't get through it without stopping it. I stop it and yell at the TV when you're not here.
Why were you watching this?
Because somebody said Michael was on the show, and I like Michael. I'm a Michael fan.
Uh-huh.
I think he's great. I love him on Twitter.
Right.
But
yeah,
he completely jumped the shark. I mean, he goes on Stern and rips everybody's ass open and talks about all kinds of stuff, and then he's doing this. It's
time because she'll make it messy.
Well, the reason why he's doing this because he's in New York this week. I think he has a place in New York too, but he's in New York this week because he's headlining at Caroline's.
He does Caroline's all the time.
I know, but he's here to promote. That's why he's doing the Wendy Williams show on the same day that he's doing Caroline's at night.
It's just so off brand for me.
She always makes it nice.
And he's talking about the Real Housewives of New York.
There's big news.
This does feel off-brand. He's wrong for this on so many levels. Age-wise, he's white.
No, Michael Rapaport is not white. He's translucent white.
Oh, that's true.
He is the most white guy you will ever see in your life.
Yeah.
I mean, we're talking blonde, old, white guy here.
Yeah, he's a good actor, but you're right. He's sort of wrong for this because he's about to talk about Real Housewife stuff and Kim Kardashian celebrity stuff. Like, he's not a pop culture guy.
He's the justified bad guy on Justified. That's what his thing is.
The world of Michael Rapaport. Yesterday, I don't know if you were browsing your newsstands or online.
Yeah, he's not. This is not for him. He can't even get a sentence out.
He can't get a sentence out. Then he talks about a little bit later that he had sex with his wife last night, and so he's trying to be stern a little bit.
It's cringy.
Yeah, it's not good. So
it's really
everything
cringy.
about this bothers me.
Yeah.
And I thought Wendy bothered me. This bothers me more than Wendy.
Yeah, but it's at least it's Wendy's show, and she does her show well, and she's charming, and she has her audience, and they have their private jokes, and they love each other. Wendy is known for talking about celebrities. She's been talking about them since the day she came out of her mother's vagina. Like, this is what she's been doing her whole life. She did it on the radio. She does that really, really well. And the thing is, there you go. That's the thing about these types of shows. Michael Rapaport is a stand-up comic, and he's an actor. That means he has a tight 10 for when he gets, or tight 20, whatever, however long he's up on a stage. And he also has a script. But when you have to sit there and come up with shit out of your own head and actually have a conversation and talk and present something, he couldn't do it. You saw he kept messing up and he was fumbling over his words, and he had nothing, no presence, nothing to say. It's so insulting. What Wendy Williams does, even if you don't like her, what she does, she makes it look easy. And it's because she had years and years in radio. And the best hosts come from radio.
It's the Cooper and Anthony Show.
A bunch of lunatics, sick and demented. Did you hear that?
So I know this year you want to get into more sports ball. Mm-hmm. And I bring this up because it's a big story in my life today.
Okay.
And it's a huge story in my son's life. It's a huge story for the whole state that we're in. So 2 years ago, our quarterback to our football team, that's the main guy in the football team, got fired.
Wow. What?
Yeah, so they fired him. Cam Newton.
How did he get fired? That's a big deal.
He was hurt for like a whole year. Mm-hmm. And he does cost a lot of money, and it was a bunch of stuff. They wanted to start from scratch, get a younger guy, get him in here. But the whole town felt like you ripped our heart out of our chest.
Right.
Because we were behind this guy for 10 years.
Okay.
We saw him. He took us to a Super Bowl. I mean, he was the guy. Cam, for Thanksgiving, would spend millions of dollars and feed the homeless for Thanksgiving.
Nice.
He was Santa Claus to all the kids in Charlotte. I mean, he took a lot on his shoulders when he was here that he did for the community. So the Panthers turned around, fired him. So he didn't have a job. He's like, oh, shit, I'm done.
How do you fire a guy who took you to the Super Bowl? Why'd they fire him?
They wanted to start with somebody new.
Okay.
They wanted to get a young guy out of college, and maybe he'll take us for the next 10 years.
God, nobody has job security these days.
No. And so Cam took it he took it pretty hard. He worked his ass off, got into the best shape he was ever in. He did these videos where he was throwing footballs with his feet or whatever. I mean, just an amazing quarterback. He got signed to New England, so he went up there for a year. He didn't do real great. He didn't do bad, but he didn't do great.
Okay.
So then New England fired him.
Oh.
So here we're talking about a 30-year-old guy who has no job now.
Right.
And nobody is signing him.
This is sad.
It's sad. I mean, it really is. So, because he's a really good guy and a really good quarterback, and we loved him here. So, we lost our quarterback this past week. He had a shoulder issue. So, he's going to be out for a month.
Right.
So, the football team was rumored to be talking to Cam to bring him back to Charlotte.
Whoa.
But half the people were like, never going to happen. He ain't coming back. There's no way. You got fired.
Right.
And it wasn't a nice firing. It was fuck off, get out.
Right. Oof.
Yeah. And the whole town was like, I mean, we had photos of this guy on the side of buildings. I mean, he was the god of Charlotte.
Right.
And then we fired him. He had to leave. So today it was announced that they signed him back.
What?
He is coming back to Charlotte.
Just for the month while this other dude is out?
No, for the year, for the rest, because there's 8 more games left. So I can't imagine what they said to him to get him to come back. But
we have a job, you're unemployed. Great.
no, we have a job and we'll offer you $10 million to come back for 8 games.
That's what they're paying him?
4.5 million is guaranteed. And then with bonuses and all that, he could get up to 10 million for 8 games.
Whoa, that's amazing.
So,
okay, I don't feel bad for him anymore.
So this week he can't play because he's still got to get worked into the team, and they have to do all that. But the next game he's going to play, our old coach is going to be coming to town with his new football team, and Cam's going to be in Charlotte and coming out of that gate for the first time.
Wow.
And people are just going to cry. I mean, I've never seen a team bring somebody back after you fired them and dragged them through the dirt like that and then turn around and say, yeah, you can come back.
That's an amazing story, especially because that social media probably had a lot to say about it. And, people are going to be eating their words now because that's a hard thing. Like, do you go back to a job that you can rock and that, you like the people, your teammates, whatever, but the higher ups, that's a thing that's tough. It's like, so I'm going to come back and make these assholes money, these terrible people, but they're paying him. They're paying him a lot of money. That's the thing. You say it with cash, it's worth going back.
Well, and I was looking at Twitter this morning and Tepper was trending, and Tepper is the owner of the football team.
Okay.
So his name was trending early this morning. So the rumors were starting to fly. So everybody in town was like, what's going on? What's going on? Is Cam coming back? Is Cam coming back? And then it broke, and Brandon about had a heart attack.
Your son?
My son, yeah, because Cam to him is really the only quarterback he's known, and he's loved the Panthers since he was born. So for him to come back, it's like, Santa Claus is coming home. So
right.
The Panthers put out this video today for Cam.
I'm coming home.
And
Tell the world.
what you got to know is Cam, when he was here, he got into a bad accident where they flipped his car over. He was in the hospital, and he won't take the hospital bracelet off because it reminds him. So that's part of this video.
I'm coming home. Let the rain
Oh, they're showing him in the hospital.
wash away all the pain of yesterday.
Cam Newton released.
No, my kingdom awaits, and they've forgiven.
You left out the part that he's handsome.
I'm coming home. Tell the world.
Yeah, so that's what the whole two states are going through today.
That's an amazing story. I mean, first of all, the idea that you get fired so publicly, and I don't know why they had to fire him in a negative way. Like, why they have to be dicks about it? Why couldn't they just be like, look, you're not winning us anything. We're going to try something new. Sorry, dude. Like, why, why leave on bad terms?
Yeah, and it was one of those things. He was the face of the franchise.
Right.
So when you watched the game, you thought of him. And for him to come back now when we need him the most, and his first game is going to be at home playing against his old coach who fired him.
Right.
This town's going to go insane when this happens.
Yeah, it's funny. Everybody's already posting like memes and GIFs about it and stuff like that. People looks like people. Some people are very upset about it. Most people are happy about it, but there are a few people that are like, what the hell, dude? Like, I don't know why they'd be upset.
Yeah, I don't know why. Just because you want somebody better or what? I don't know. But as far as this household is concerned, we're ecstatic about this. We couldn't be happier.
Yeah. Well, for the most part, it looks like Twitter's pretty happy about it. So
good.
I know you don't really care what Twitter has to say, but
No, no. This morning from 8:00 on, I was refreshing Twitter every 5 minutes because I knew if Tepper that's the great thing about Twitter. When something is trending and it makes no sense why it's trending, then it's either good or bad. So for Tepper, why the hell would that be trending? He's the owner's name. So why is he trending in Twitter? People are starting this rumor going on.
Right.
And people started the hashtag bring Cam home. So I think social media had a big part in this.
You think? I don't think so. I mean, they probably look at social media, but I don't think that like the owners were going, now we really need a quarterback. This is the best guy. Should we do it? I don't know. Let's check Twitter. I doubt that happened.
Well, I mean, I think somebody walks in and goes, hey, by the way, you guys, bring Cam home is trending.
Yeah, no, it just, listen, they're already planning on doing it. That kind of gives them we're making a good decision here. Obviously, the fans are supporting this. But it's the NFL. They're going to do what they're going to do. Listen, I can give you a million reasons why the NFL does not really care about their fans. They only care about their fans' money. So I think they made the decision that was best for them. And they know how people in North Carolina and South Carolina feel about him. It's not a secret.
Well, I mean, the ticket sales were not great. I mean, it's been really hard to get people back in the stadium after we went through COVID and we went through all this. They're not selling the jerseys. They're not packing the stadium like they used to. Now,
well, this should do it.
Now, forget about it.
Ladies and gentlemen,
The Cooper and Anthony Show.
These people are obviously total lunatics. Muy comico!
Hey, you want some studies?
Yes.
Okay, I have 3 studies for you.
All right.
This one I thought would be interesting because this one sort of pertains to you. A new study finds that dads who spend more time with their kids and who are more involved with them have a different brain than fathers like you who don't. So, when you are ignoring
Squid Game with my kids. That's doing things with them.
When they were growing up, how involved were you? Okay, I rest my case.
Okay.
Right. Okay. That's what I'm saying.
Whose fault was that?
Well, apparently your brain, because research is...
Whose fault was that I didn't spend the time with my kids?
Don't blame me.
Whose fault was it? Who made me work 7 to midnight every single night for 10 years? When I should have been home helping them with their homework, where was I?
On the air with me.
And then when I wasn't on the air with you, then where did I move to without my family?
New York.
So whose fault was it that I didn't spend the time with my kids?
Yeah, it was totally mine. But what's interesting about this, when I think about it like that, we did our syndicated show for almost 9 years. So that's a lot of years. And your kids were really little then. You really were not there for them at all.
So I would work all day. I would get there at 9 or 10 in the morning. And then I would work all day and then go on the air with you from 7 till midnight.
So you'd wake up and your kids would they at least be getting ready for school?
They would already be in school.
Okay, so you'd wake up, they'd already be in school, and you would get home, they'd already be in bed.
Right. Because I would get home at like 1 or 2 o'clock in the morning. So I would never see my kids. I saw photos.
On weekends, you saw them, didn't you?
Yeah, if they didn't go to their grandparents or something, because the grandparents want to see the kids. So,
right.
Yeah. So I saw my kids 8 days a month. And holidays.
Okay, so, all right, so that's you. But everybody else.
And even holidays, like Thanksgiving and Christmas, where was I?
No, we didn't work on Thanksgiving and Christmas.
Oh, some of us didn't. Some of us had to run the board and run the show.
Oh.
Some of us didn't run the board, so they didn't have to go to work on Christmas. But I was there at the station running Best of our show.
Because I always had those holidays off. I wondered where you were.
How was your Thanksgiving? Oh, it was great. What'd you do? I was freaking here. 7 to midnight on Thanksgiving.
And it would come back from every holiday. I'd be like, how was your holiday? You'd be like, don't friggin' talk to me.
No, I went open the presents in the morning and then went to work. That was my job.
Right.
Yeah, no, you had it for your name is on the show. You're like
out of here.
Yeah, I don't even know. You couldn't even tell me one best of we played.
Well, only because the show was on. We were syndicated all over the country, but not in New York. I lived in New York.
Right.
And the show was on in Charlotte, North Carolina, and Minneapolis and LA. It was every other city except for New York. So where was I supposed to listen?
Okay.
I'm just saying.
So, yeah, that's why my kids grew up not knowing who I was.
Well, now this study doesn't make any more sense.
Okay, keep doing the study then.
Okay, fine. Well, so everyone else who neglected their kids, not you, of course, because you neglected them because of me. Researchers from the University of Essex found that men who were actively involved in childcare had a larger hypothalamus. That's a part of your brain. It's an almond-sized region of the brain that plays a key role for attachment and parenting. So if your hypothalamus is bigger, you're more likely to be a better father and not Anthony. You're less likely to be Anthony.
Do women have a hypochondriac in their brain too?
Of course, everyone has a hypothalamus.
Okay, so does it work with women too?
I'm not the researcher here. I didn't do the study was looking at dads. I'll let you know if there's a mom study coming up. How about this? More than half of Americans, here's another study by Thrift Books. More than half of Americans think that their lives would make a great book.
Mm-hmm.
They surveyed over 2,000 people and they asked them that question. And over 50% of them said, yeah, my life would make a great book. What do you think about that?
I would like to know what part of their life would be a good book. Because I think people's lives really suck. And they go to work and they come home and they go to bed and they wake up and they go to work and they come home and they're living paycheck to paycheck. And I don't know how that's a good story. I think I turn it off.
I'm surprised to hear you say that because the kind of radio that we did before we did a podcast was call in, and people would call in and they would tell us crazy stories about their lives. We'd throw out topics, and every topic there'd be somebody that would call with some wacky ass story that we could have never predicted. And then we had a bunch of callers that would call regularly and tell us stories. So we got a real picture of how really intense their lives were. And I think I'm definitely from the everybody has something in their past, some kind of history, something going on right now. I mean, remember we had that one guy that called he called all the time. And then one day he finally told us that he was living with his wife and her boyfriend.
Mm-hmm.
He was living in his house. His wife's boyfriend moved in with them.
No,
we were like, wait, what?
I think everybody has a chapter in them that you could write a chapter that would be an interesting chapter, not a whole book. There's no way people have a whole book in them.
I think if you're a good enough writer, you could make that one thing in your life
Mhm.
an entire. Okay, so if it was that guy, right? He'd have to start the book with meeting this woman and their great love story and how they fell in love and get us really involved with them as a couple. And then kind of start to show us the cracks in the relationship. And then, in another section of the book, she's meeting this other guy in some other context. And then finally, at some point in the book, this guy comes into the married life.
Mm.
You know what I mean? And that's a whole book. Like that right there, that story can be an entire book if it's told right.
I think people called up and had a good story when we threw out a topic, but they never called back again with another story that was that good. So, like I said, I think people have a good 15 minutes. You have a good YouTube video. You have a good TikTok for your life, but you don't have a whole movie.
I don't know. I think people look. It's more than 50%. So I think people definitely have a past history, something that they can turn to a book. So that made sense to me. And I was surprised it was so low. I was like, really, only more than half? Why not everybody?
Well, how many people have 7 books in them?
Yeah, but the books were not about my life.
But some people have 7 books in them.
But it's easy to write about other people and other things. This is about, does your...
But would you ever write a book about your life?
No, my life's boring.
The past year's been boring, but I think you have some good stories in there.
Yeah, and I tell them on the radio. They're not a good book. It's not a good book. Nobody wants that book. No. And finally, the third study that I have for you: 3 in 5 people believe in a soulmate. This is a OnePoll survey. The OnePoll is the actual survey organization. They found that 3 in 5 people believe a soulmate is possible, and 89% of people, when they're choosing a partner, they think that there's somebody out there that's compatible to them or similar to them, and that's who they're looking for.
Yeah, that's complete bullshit too, because there are a gazillion people in the world, and you ran into that one person at Walmart that's your soulmate. I don't believe it.
The problem with the soulmate idea is like the minute you think there's a soulmate out there for you, and then you meet your soulmate, and then you marry your soulmate, and then things start going awry in your relationship and things are not going well. So what do you decide then? That wasn't your soulmate? Or there's another soulmate out there? Or
that's why that's why Tinder exists.
Right.
Because the first soulmate wasn't your soulmate. So you're going to keep. And I think if there is a soulmate, it might not even be your wife, your girlfriend, your husband, your boyfriend, whatever. It could be somebody of the same sex and the same whatever. And
that's a crazy
they live
thing.
in Egypt. I don't know.
Right. That is a crazy thing. And, when I read this at first, I was like, well, this must be like really young. Like when I was 16, I had lots of friends that were like, I believe in a soulmate. I can't wait to find him or her, whatever. But I've always been cynical. There was never a time in my life that I was like a romantic young teenage girl that I was like, I'm going to find my soulmate. Like that was never on the menu for me. I never thought that was ever a possibility. So I don't think, first I thought like this is a maturity thing, but then I realized, no, it's a personality thing, because I have friends now that still believe they married their soulmate, or they're single and they're still looking for their soulmate is how they phrase it.
No, I don't think you find soulmates. I think you find people that can put up with your shit.
Right.
Somebody who doesn't run when they learn more about you than what's just on the surface. And
right.
That's
Which is probably why, the reason I never believe a soulmate is because it's a protective thing. If I thought soulmate, I'd be totally screwed.
Right. There's how many people are in New York? 40 million. What's the odds you're going to run into?
8 million.
Okay, 8 million stories in the naked city. So what's the odds of 8? What's the odds that you're going to run into somebody in 8 million people that's your soulmate? And your soulmate could be in Florida. You don't know.
Or another country somewhere.
Right.
Right. That's a good point.
Or could be a donkey. You could be a donkey's soulmate.
I don't think it goes interspecies. I think,
You don't know.
Yeah. No, I do know. That I say no to.
A journey back in time.
The Cooper and Anthony Show.
Boy, that takes me back.
So what's the sickest you've been at work? Hey, Brandon, how are you?
Good, how are you?
I'm good. I mean, now you're healthy right now, right?
Yeah.
Okay, just checking.
About 5 years ago, my dad bought a restaurant, right?
Mhm.
And he was teaching me how to cook. So I'm in the back cooking, and it's a busy restaurant. It was like a hamburger place, but he sold it 2 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
And I haven't had chicken pox,
Mm-hmm.
and I got it, and he needed me to cook. He needed me to cook when I had chicken pox.
Oh, no.
And I refused to go, but he made me anyways because...
Wait, you came in and cooked food while you had chicken pox?
Well, no one would see me, and I'm in the back, and we were being very careful. I'm not one of the people who scratch a lot.
Right.
Yeah, but what if the health inspector came? If the health inspector came, he would have shut you down.
Oh, well, he risked it.
Yeah, I'd like my salad with a side of pus.
Did you kiss your dad when you came in? Did you be like, thanks, Dad. Come here, Dad. Let me give you a big old kiss.
I did the best I could to hide it. I don't think many people noticed me except for the waiters and stuff.
And there was no rash of chicken pox after that at the restaurant?
Excuse me?
There was no rash of chicken pox at the restaurant? You didn't give it to everybody around you? Oh, good job. Good job.
Wow.
Okay. Poor Brandon.
His dad, his boss is his dad.
You can imagine he felt like crap.
Dad, I'm sick. Come
He
in.
must have felt horrible. I mean, that's the other thing. It's not even so much having the chicken pox. It's how sick you must feel standing there having to cook over a hot stove.
Yeah, when I had chicken
man.
pox, I had staph infection with it. So instead of like the little dots, they're about the size of quarters.
Oh.
Yeah.
How old were you, Chad?
29.
Like 6 or 7.
Wait a minute. You remember having chicken pox at 6?
There's pictures of it.
Okay.
That's how gross they were.
They break it out at Christmas. Remember this?
Yeah.
Remember this, Chad? You were so ugly back then.
Me in my faded pajamas and giant splotches all over my face.
Chad. Oh. Richard has no sympathy for you, Chad.
Yeah, hey, Cooper.
How are you?
I'm the police officer that always calls in, and one particular night or week, our division had everybody was out with the flu. They were calling people at home, we need you to come in, we need you to come in. So when I came in, I felt, okay, but it got worse as the night went along, and I pulled this car over, and I get out, and as I'm walking up to the door, I got that feeling in my stomach like, oh, no. And I get up to the window, and I said, can I see your driver's license and register? And that's
oh, God.
No.
So the guy, I back up, and the guy gets out of the car. Officer, are you all right? Can I help you? I'm good. And then I start throwing up again.
Oh, no,
And,
poor Richard.
So then I said, look, I'm going to let you go with a warning this time.
Yeah, the warning is don't stop if you see the cop starts throwing up. Don't stop for sick cops.
Yeah, it's one of those times when you just, like Anthony said, you had to work. I didn't have a choice.
Yeah, you had to. Because of everybody who was sick, you were probably the least sick out of everybody else, right?
Yeah, and it was one of those nights where you had to really do something bad to go to jail that night.
Parking violation and no, just go.
He was in no mood to fill out paperwork that night.
You get a warning.
Not even a warning because he asked paperwork.
Now, Ken, what's your job?
Cooper.
How are you?
Fair to partly cloudy.
Partly.
About like always. I'm having to stand outside the truck because the little girl wants to listen to the dadgum radio, so I'm standing out here in the cold with just a pair of shorts on.
Oh, poor Ken. Now we feel really bad for you. Oh, there you go. We got the music going for you, Ken.
Don't start it, Anthony. Anyway, I had to have surgery on my foot, and it was messed up pretty bad. Well, I'd already squared it at work to be off and everything. They knew what was going on, and
Did you? Is because you kicked so many butts that you had to have surgery?
No, it wasn't none of that. It was from something else. But anyway, they'd done surgery the day before. So
little foot fetish thing.
Had my leg propped up in the air, and I was eating some mighty good medicine.
What were you doing for a living at the time? What were you doing for work?
I was working for a major soft drink company, one of the top soft drink company.
Mm-hmm.
And I won't say who it is, but anyway, the boss man calls me about 5:30 and says, "Where are you?" I said, "You know where I'm at." I said, "Dude, there's no way I can come in." I said, "I'm on enough drugs to kill a horse." I said, "Besides that," I said, "I can't walk." I said, "My foot's in a sling." I said, I said, "I can't even stand up on it." He said, "You got to come in." I said, "There ain't no way."
Oh,
He said, "Well, is there any way you can get here?" I said, "Well, I can probably get there." I said, "But I can't walk and I can't drive." I said, "I sure as hell can't climb in and out of that truck all day."
Right. Oh,
and
man.
he said, "Dude, you got to come in." He said, "I ain't got nobody else." I said, "You're kidding me, right?" He said, "No." I said, "Why can't you do it?" He said, "I got to run another one."
You're
So
kidding.
it
So
was
did you
just
go
a
in?
little bit. I got up and got my clothes on, went on in, and I made sure I took a handful of pills with me.
Oh,
and I told the old boy that, the funny part was the guy I was training was my brother.
Oh.
And
So
I
did you make
told
him drive?
He could drive. I said, "It wasn't no big deal." I told him, I said, "You're driving and you're doing all the work." I said, "Be thankful if I even get in and out of this truck." I said, "I'll point you to where you got to go, tell you how to get there." I said, "If you have any problems on the inside, then I'll get out." I said, "Otherwise, I ain't moving."
Otherwise, don't wake me.
I said, "Well, it wasn't that. It was just, like I said, I had my foot in a cast.
Yeah.
And matter of fact, it was still bleeding.
Oh, God. Yeah,
So,
the heavy meds must have been the fun part of the day.
Oh, getting in and out of the truck was the fun part.
Oh.
And then I had to drive home, and I had a straight drive on top of that.
Oh, no.
So it was right interesting for a couple of days, and I wound up having to come to work every day.
Oh, man.
The doctor found out, and he pitched a fit.
Yeah, doctors don't like that sort of thing. They like you to
Oh.
kind of heal.
All right, Ken, get back in the car. It's cold out there.
Yeah, I know. I'm freezing, too.
You and your little shorts. Thank you for calling us in your little shorts, Ken. Hi, Debbie. How are you?
Fine, Cooper. How you doing?
I'm good. So now, what did you do for a living at the time?
What I'm still doing, I work for a local CPA firm.
Mm-hmm.
I'm the receptionist, bookkeeper, jack of all trades.
Mm-hmm. Very important.
But yeah, this past summer I got laryngitis so bad, my doctor put me on voice restriction.
Mm-hmm.
That means no talking whatsoever for a whole week.
No.
God.
And when you have to answer the phone and you have to answer the door, it's kind of hard. You answer the phone.
You'd answer the phone. This is what you hear.
Somebody else has got to answer the phone.
Right.
So when somebody comes in the door, you're doing hand signals and piece of paper. and the bad part was at home, because he said no talking, period.
Mm-hmm.
At home, I'd be doing hand signals, and my husband look at me and go, "I don't understand what you're saying. Will you quit?" He's either whisper to me and quit.
I got some hand signals you could have used that he would have understood immediately.
Either. But anyway, it's life goes on.
That's the funniest part is
now
being a receptionist and having to answer the phone, because you could still physically answer the phone. You just can't say anything. So the person on the other end of the line was probably like, hello? Hello?
Yeah, and people now, when I talk to them now, they're going, "You can't talk again." I'm going, "Well, yeah, that's right. we'll try again another day."
Oh, God. Thank you, Debbie. Thank you. Glad you're feeling better. Hi, Ansley. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. Now, what happened to you?
Oh, my God. It was the wildest thing. I was a pedestrian hit by a car, which happened to be driven by a drunk driver in the middle of the day in a parking lot.
You're kidding me.
No.
How badly were you hurt?
I tore my rotator cuff. I really, in all honesty, I wasn't bad because, I got up and walked away.
Right.
But, just the medicine, big swollen ankle, bruises, everywhere. And I happened to be substituting in a very, very tiny school district at the time. And I called that next morning and said, "I cannot come in." They're like, "Oh, please, but we need you.
Oh, God.
We rely on you."
I was hit by a car.
It was as if the high school was going to just, shut down if I didn't come in. So I had to go in there and substitute in a high school, high on pills.
Oh, my goodness.
And they put me in a study hall in a gym.
Oh, no.
Well, There's about 125 next period. And then after that, you move the study hall into the cafeteria, and then there's a couple more. And a fire alarm, somebody pulled the fire alarm, and everyone's like scattering to the winds, and I'm like limping like Quasimodo.
Oh, no.
Where do we go?
Oh, poor you. And you can't even be like, kids, don't do drugs.
And drink and drive.
And don't drink and drive. It wasn't her fault. Someone else was drinking and driving. Oh, man, that's hilarious.
Got hit by a car.
Now, Sam, you understood that story when he was talking about being a cook, right? Because you're a cook for a living, right?
Oh yeah, this was a long time ago when I worked part-time, but I'm the guy that never missed a day of school, not because I wasn't sick, because unless I was dying, my mom and dad made me go anyway.
Right.
But I was a cook. I injured myself on the job one day. I cut my finger, and I'm just sitting there bleeding, and the guy was like, "Get out from the food." I was just still in shock. And I went and got my finger stitched up, went back to work the same day.
Wow.
But then another time I had pink eye. And I can't figure it. It's like, well, we cook anyway. I was just like, okay. I'm sitting here with a washcloth because every 5 minutes my eyes are burning so bad I have to get a hot rag and put it over my eyes. And I'm just dying all day.
And that's highly contagious.
Highly contagious.
Yeah, that's what I heard.
That's what I heard.
So, here I am cooking. So I was like, okay, whatever.
I can't believe your boss wasn't like, get out of here now.
I don't know. They were short on cooks. But I've always, I think my mom and dad had me like that at school, so I guess I carried that over to work.
I'm never eating out ever again.
Ever again. People come in with cut fingers and pink eye and chicken pox.
5-second rule. Oh, Sam, you're killing me.
Well, keep away from me in the 5 seconds. I'm all right.
Sam.
I'm never eating out.
That was great, Sam. Now, Tina, what did you do for a living at the time when you had to come into work sick?
I worked in an investment department, and it was our quarterly filing, and it took 3 days to do. And I had what you did. I was really dizzy, and I was passing out. I had no choice, had to go into work. On the third day, I finally, after I was done filing, I went to the doctor.
After I was done falling.
Yeah, I'm passing out at work, and they wouldn't let me leave.
Wow, what a cutthroat job you have.
They sent me to the hospital. I had encephalitis.
You're kidding me.
No.
Did you get that from mosquitoes?
I was in the hospital for a week with it.
Oh, whoa. Did they know how you got it?
Mosquito bites.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
And then did you infect everybody you were forced to work with?
No, I wasn't contagious like that.
Oh, not like pink eye.
No.
No, not like pink eye. Pink eye. Isn't that funny that pink eye is worse than encephalitis?
But did they tell you that the 3 days you were working, you probably should have been in the hospital then, too?
Yes. That was my sickest point.
And when you told your boss that, what did he say or she say?
No, sorry.
She probably had to use the week as vacation.
I'm sure. Yeah, you know
that was
what?
About it.
When you have an employee who's passing out at work, I think it's okay to send them home.
No.
No.
That filing had to be done.
Not in investment banking. No way. Too cutthroat. Thank you, Tina. Thank you. Oh, man. Can you believe? And what's so funny is encephalitis, not contagious. Pink eye.
Yeah.
Get away.
Chicken pox.
He's slinging burgers with the pink eye.
I know.
The 5-second rule. Oh. Killing me.
See, now he's a chef, so he knows about the 5-second rule. So he says it's okay.
So when your salmon falls on the floor, as long as they pick it up in 5 seconds, you're fine.
You think I'm ever eating out again? Ever?
He was holding a wet rag on his eye. What did he do with that rag when he was done? Oh, I don't even want
to know.
All our food has to be vacuum packed from now
Right.
on.
Oh. I'm only having Tang from here on in. Anything that astronauts eat, I'll eat. That's it. If an astronaut will eat it, I'll eat it. That's the new rule.
And MRIs.
And MRIs on a daily basis.